Welcome back to Primetime. Joining me now is a world-renowned authority on whole food nutrition. David Sandoval is here to tell us how we can improve our health by simply using everyday foods. Welcome to Primetime, David.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
This is perfect timing because we were just talking about how important it is to stay healthy, you know, to look good, to feel good, and live a long life. And you're saying that just eating the right foods can help us achieve all that.
Absolutely. You know, people don't realize, again, how important it is in life to project. People, they judge you the first minute they see you. And it may not be a good thing, but It is just the way it is. A first impression is everything. And so if you have confidence, if you're, look healthy, if you, smell good, then you're going to be, you're going to be more accepted in a job, in a relationship, by friends, in society. Mm-hmm. And the thing is that most people don't realize that they're giving a lot back that they could be keeping in the form of energy, life, youthfulness, looks, all of that. And I want people to experience more than they're getting. And it could be as simple as the food choices that you make. And that's why I'm here. So
explain what you mean by food choices. Go into that more deep, please.
Okay, for example, let's say that you wake up every morning and you feel tired. You don't want to get out of bed. There's something wrong, and coffee is not the answer.
It's not.
So let's say that, let's say that you do wake up and you need a little extra energy. 20 ounces of room temperature water and a green apple will give you more energy than a cup of black coffee. And it's so much healthier for you. It may not smell as good brewing, but it is much better for you.
And apples have so many health benefits. Go into that, because when that old saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, there's some truth to that.
Well, apples are a great source of two types of fiber. The type of fiber that sort of cleanses cholesterol and the fiber that cleanses your bowel. And the skin of the apple, which is really important, why organic is so important, because the skin of the apple is where most of the good stuff is, nutrient-wise, and yet you'd have to peel it unless you had a really strong wash to get the chemicals off that they typically use. And so we're really worried about the children of America, and the children grow up to be us.
Yep. Well, the children are our future. That's why parents buy organic or a good wash to clean the vegetables. Very important. Yeah. These chemicals permeate their cell membranes and they get passed down to generation to generation. Bad. Okay, so apple, I like that tip. In fact, I probably will start using that because I just have black coffee to get going. What's the next one? And I'm a health guru, so for you to teach me something, that says a lot. What's the next thing we need to know?
I like people to think of the grocery store as a pharmacy. Don't think of it as food, because remember, the only reason we really need to eat is to nourish ourselves. Has nothing to do with taste or with aroma or convenience or price. We eat to live, and most people live to eat. Yeah. And we've got to turn that around. And so if you go into the grocery store, you look at the packaged food, and I would just want to warn you that natural flavoring is dangerous. Artificial colors, artificial flavors, artificial sweeteners, artificial fats, these things permeate 97% of the foods we feed our children. Which means that mothers have a distinct responsibility to go out and to select in that small 3%. Imagine if you were only able to eat 3% of the food in the grocery store. Well, if you had a rule that said no artificial colors, no artificial flavors, no artificial sweeteners, no artificial fat, you would have to eliminate 97% of the food that's offered to our families.
I'm pretty good about that in my house, just so you know.
Well, you have great skin, so that's probably why.
Thank you. I know, I'm like 100 years old too. No, I know, I truly believe that, and I also feel women, if you're in those childbearing years and you're thinking about a family, get on that program way before you get pregnant.
Absolutely.
Clean out your body. You want to pass down to your children as much health as possible. And good genes.
Now, overweight, obesity is the biggest problem facing America today because it is the bellwether for disease. It leads to the diabetes. It leads to the, obviously, it leads to the heart disease. But most importantly, the number one reason why people die too soon and the number one reason for human suffering in Western culture is triggered by overeating. Now imagine, and I don't mean to speak too much, but we eat foods that are very high in nutrients, very high in calories, and very low in nutrients. And the end result is we overburden our body with toxin, but we undernourish our cells with vitamins. And so the answer isn't a multivitamin.
Or supplements. I spend hundreds of dollars on supplements. No, I do.
No, the answer is food.
Yeah.
And the foods if you're going to buy supplements, you need to do me a favor and look for whole food supplements.
Yeah. I do that.
But because that's the answer.
Talk about, just including the turmeric and the ginger and everything else into your diet as well.
Okay, right? So let's just go down the line. Let's say that you have diabetes. Start using more green vegetables and also cinnamon. Cinnamon is really good at stabilizing blood sugar. Let's say that you have a problem overeating. Try adding a lot of cayenne pepper. Learn to tolerate cayenne pepper, or even take cayenne pepper capsules, and you'll stop having such cravings. In fact, there's certain...
Well, I know it raises your metabolism, but I didn't know it helps with your, decrease your appetite.
Well, there are actually a number of herbs that, when combined with cayenne, can do that. White kidney bean extract, gambosia, a lot of different herbs from around the world. Now, I personally, that's what I do. I write books, I write magazine articles, I educate people about what to do when they encounter certain challenges in their life. And the answer is almost always found in food and herbs.
It's funny because, not to get religious, but that's a biblical statement what you said, and it's those words are found in different religions, said different ways, but it always goes back to what we're putting in our bodies.
We could go to religion and go to Genesis 1:29, where it says, I've given you the seed-bearing fruit of the vine and grasses of the field, or you could go to Hippocrates, the father of medicine, who said, let food be your medicine. And so it doesn't have to be religious. Religions have amazing truths in them. All religions do. And so does science. And when you find the greatest recommendation from spirituality and the greatest recommendation from science, when they merge the way that they're doing now with the validation of food as being more important than medicine to keep the body healthy, and of course, that type of knowledge is ancient knowledge. It isn't modern knowledge, because people before there were doctors, they went to the trees and the barks and the roots and the flowers, and they found answers. And we need to shut down our need for pharmaceutical drugs with all these side effects and look to the natural remedies that do not have those side effects, especially as it relates to our children. Because addictions are very common for ADD drugs and all these others. We've got to start to wean ourselves off of the pharmaceutical drugs. And the way to do it is with the knowledge of food.
So I got two questions for you, and I would love for you to come back and we'll narrow it down to two
I'll try
topics.
To shorten my answers.
No, it's good, because this is something that's ongoing. One, do you have a microwave? Do you believe in a microwave in your food?
Never.
And
ever.
Tell the viewers why.
I'll give you one example. I want you to take 2 freshly cut roses, and I want you to boil some water, and I want you to put the boiled water after it cools into a vase. Then I want you to boil water in your microwave and put that water into a vase after it cools. Put both roses in, come back in 2 days, and the rose that was in microwave water is dead. And the rose that was in boiled water that simply cooled is living. Or at least, not dead. And if microwaves can't even keep water safe, imagine what they do. So when you put fat in a microwave, that fat will actually warp itself and mutate itself. When it enters your body won't know what it is. It'll seem like a plastic. And so anytime you microwave food, if you use plastic or if there is fat in it, it's dangerous.
Okay, so you gave us the problem, give us the solution. You've got working moms who maybe, like for me, I prepare a lot of my meals before I come to work, and then I want to come home and heat up for the kids. Right, or you get home and maybe you're having leftovers or whatever. If you're not using microwaves, because it's changing the molecular compound, right? So the structure of the foods. What do we use? How do you heat them up?
You use 18 more minutes, and you do it the old-fashioned way. Really, is 18 minutes?
You heat it up in the oven.
Is 18 minutes going to make that big of a difference in your life?
Maybe steaming. Maybe there should be a steaming would be fine, right?
Yeah, and they have these infrared ovens that are really good and safe, and they warm the food much faster. They have
Where
convection
are those?
ovens. They're sold in stores. They have now infrared is built into regular ovens, so you can have infrared convection, and it's almost as fast as microwaving, but it's not as dangerous. And what is your second question? Do you remember?
No, I like this. I love that he's teaching me something. Yay!
Well, one thing I want to tell you is that I've dedicated my life toward helping people break their addiction to food. I think that we are addicted to food that's killing us. And the reason I'm so pleased that you let me on your show today is because I am starting a movement called the Million Mom Movement. And it's waking mothers up to the danger in our food and giving them the answers that they need. And so I just want you to know that there is a crisis and we need to do something about it. Do you have children?
4 daughters.
Oh my God, that's amazing. So all I could tell you is the father of a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
The difference between her being a 4.4 GPA and getting a full ride scholarship and her friends who had a higher IQ than her becoming party girls and disappearing into the night is nutrition, and I'm serious about that.
I really.
My daughter was focused and
I'm
intelligent
sold. I've always known
because
this.
of her diet.
Yeah, I agree with that. I totally agree. And I want you back to talk more about this. The last thing I want to talk to you about, well, we'll talk about it when you come back.
Promise me you'll read my book.
I promise. Let's
Is
throw
that
up
a
your book
shameless
again.
pitch?
We've been showing your book. There's like the Green Foods Bible. And I will read it. I hope you brought one today. I'd love to have you back once a week on Tuesday for Taylor Time to talk about, we'll break down and start educating the viewers.
And I'll bring in foods, specific foods, and tell you specifically what they do.
And I like it.
Will change lives.
And we got to talk about wine and the effects on wine. And
only if you'll join me for a glass of red wine after the show.
Deal. Thank you for coming on.
Such a pleasure.